Reading reversals is like flipping a coin. Same card, totally different side of the story. Let's jump into this suit of Pentacles as we explore the reverse side of the cards. So let's start with the Ace of Pentacles. This could be about missed chances or unstable beginnings, which is the opposite of what the card would mean if it wasn't reversed. It's the seed of abundance, but something is delayed in its growth. The cards that are surrounding this in the reading are going to give more of a hint and a deeper story about that. But for now, we're just covering the somewhat traditional meanings of the reversals. So sometimes it's seen as fear of taking a risk in something that you want to plant the seed toward, or maybe it's about not seeing the opportunity that's presenting itself. Now, here's the thing with reversals, you might think, oh, these meanings are only going to come into play if I find the card in reverse, but that's not the case. Always use your intuition when it comes to discovering what you feel the meaning and the message is trying to tell you based on the question you have. Okay, moving on. So we have the Two of Pentacles. This could signify overwhelm, imbalance, or juggling poor time management or juggling things. You've got too many balls in the air, something's got to drop. Make sure it's not the ones that matter. This can also point to avoiding financial responsibility or having decision paralysis. And moving on to the Three of Pentacles, this is about a disconnection with the collaboration or the community you're in. Teamwork ain't flowing. Maybe there's ego or miscommunication or a lack of shared vision. You know, the hint would be the cards that surround this if there are other suits. You could also be undervaluing your own skills, or somebody is. Like maybe you're just staying small in that group setting and not stepping up a little bit to shine your light. All right, Four of Pentacles. So fours are often about stability. In this case, it's going to show up in a bit of instability, clinging on too tightly or not holding on strong enough. Although this one's tricky, it could also mean letting go of that financial scarcity. Well, either that or it flips to gripping on too hard. So it really depends on where this shows up in a reading. But either way, it could be not trusting the flow, good or bad. Speaking of not trusting the flow, well, we have the Five of Pentacles, which often shows up as a negative card anyways. But when it's in its reverse, it doesn't necessarily mean it's 10 times worse, but it is, be aware of this. Hope is on the horizon. See, we've got the window down below, so it's down at the bottom. It's working its way up, so that's a pretty good thing. Maybe you're coming out of a tough spot financially or emotionally. Or you could be really isolating yourself and not letting others support you. Things to consider. Let's move on to the Six of Pentacles, which is normally a really good card when it's seen in the regular upright position. But now in reverse, it feels like there's an uneven exchange. Maybe you're getting more than you're giving, or you're giving more than you're getting. Sometimes it's generosity with strings attached, purse strings, or it's helping out of guilt or feeling obligated, not out of the generosity. And with the Seven of Pentacles, this often shows up in reverse as a frustration with the progress. Either it's too slow or too fast. You've invested time, money, other resources, but the payout feels either delayed or disappointing. Could be a time to realign with why you're doing something or revisit how you're doing something. And we move on to the Eight of Pentacles. I always seem to switch arms on this one. Check the previous video. Eight of Pentacles can be about lack of focus or being sloppy with what you're doing, cutting corners. You might feel really stuck in perfectionism though, and therefore nothing's moving forward until you get that one thing right. And yet it could be in the opposite side of the scale as well and be about not really caring if you finish it well or not. Either way, mastery feels out of reach when the effort itself is out of alignment. And moving on to the Nine of Pentacles, again, another really positive card. So as it shows up in reverse, or I like to say shadow position as well. There could be outer success, but inner emptiness, like not feeling satisfied with what you have, or there's that lack of luxury. But if there is, are you enjoying it? It also could mean dependence on others or avoiding independence when you're meant to stand up strong. Things to ponder with the reverse. All right, then in reverse, 10 of Pentacles could be a disruption, instability, family dynamics. It might point to money stress, generational tension in the family, or trying to live up to somebody else's version of success. There might be something fragile underneath something that might appear stable. It'd be interesting if the reading came up with a Tower card or something like that. So something to consider. And even when this card is facing upright, take that reverse meaning into mind. When it shows up in a position where you'd be like, huh, how does this fit? Take a look at the reverse meaning sometimes, or the shadow side of the meanings, to see how it fits with your question or the message. Now let's move on to the Page of Pentacles. We're into the court cards now, which represent people or situations. So with the Page of Pentacles, it feels like it's a lack of direction, or there's procrastination. You're eager to start something, but you're not willing to do the foundational boring stuff to get started, to do a proper job in the long run. This could represent resisting learning something new, or feeling like a failure before you even try. Like if there were some sword cards mixed with this one, I'd think about that one, that for sure. All right, the Knight of Pentacles could be someone who is too cautious or completely scattered and not sure what to do. In a reverse, we can also reverse the energy of the card, where normally the Knight of Pentacles is stillness, still energy. Well, upside down, it could mean really like stagnant, stuck in the mud, or energy that's the total opposite of that, that's not letting you gain traction. Either way, it's about not having good consistency to make something last in the long run. All right, we're down to the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. This could really speak of self-neglect. You're pouring into others, but you're forgetting your own roots. You're forgetting to do things for yourself, or maybe you don't feel like you're deserving of that. So it could be struggling with stuff in your home, with your body, or even money boundaries. So there's some boundaries either being crossed or being stretched a little too thin to make things matter in your physical world. And the last pentacle in reverse is the King of Pentacles. He's usually the provider. So here it might be too much control, could be material obsession, or insecurity hiding behind status. Because, you know, he's seen as the provider, but in reverse, he's either rigid or reckless. Like it could go either end of the scale. It's also a reminder to not compare self-worth with wealth. That's it for the flip side of the Suit of Pentacles. I hope you enjoyed that, and check out the other videos to help you master the Minor Arcana. See you in the next video. Peace.